Hi everyone and welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of PSG Pain Purge with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, welcome to FM21 on relatively easy mode, it feels like. Even on the days where PSG are not playing particularly well, and there are some of those days, they still don't gel all the time. They're still winning in Ligue 1, which is fantastic. So, there's no worries on that part. And in the Champions League, since the last time you and I were together, things have gone very well. Welcome back to PSG. If you're new, let me know in the chat below. Say hi or introduce yourself somehow. Whether you're new or not and you haven't subscribed yet, click on that subscription button and click the bell for notifications for when I release my videos. That will keep you up to date with what I release. That will help the channel to grow. And if you haven't clicked that like button early on in this particular episode, please do that as well at some point in this video, just because that helps the continuation of the growth of the channel, helps me get seen by lots more people, and helps me know you're invested in the content as well. So it's good for my own motivation. So if you could do those things, that would be great. But welcome back to PSG. It has been a little bit hit and miss in the performances, but mostly all the points have come to us, and we have been scoring a bucket load of goals in the Champions League. So the last time you and I were together was for this 2-0 win over Michelin, and that was away from home. In the Champions League specifically, we followed up with a home game against them and absolutely thumped them 6-0. Odsonne Edouard was the absolute star of the show, having not scored for quite some time before it. He was on a bit of a goal drought, to be honest, and people were a little bit worried. I think it might have been all the way back here in sort of mid-August that he last scored, maybe. Can't spot another one. But people were beginning to question whether he was going to be okay for us or not. And then he showed up against Michelin and got 5 in one game. So he was well and truly back on the score sheet. Got a couple again after that against Amiens, and then another one against Brest as well. So he's really back on the scoring sheet. And it's good because we needed that sort of punch up top, really. Both he and Icardi are doing okay, but haven't been contributing as much as I'd quite like them to, really. But in and around that, I mean, we also then played Salzburg and thumped them 6-2 as well. And the goal scoring was a bit more spread out on that occasion. We've had a 7-1 against Monaco. We've had a 4-2 against Amiens, a 4-0 against Lyon. So the goal scoring has been great. And then occasionally in it, Angus, is that how you pronounce that? I guess it is. We came up with a 1-1 draw, and we just could not get going. And similarly against Rennes as well, really. We got a 1-0 win thanks to Verratti. He scored in both those tricky games, which is interesting to see. But we just didn't get going, and it is still inconsistent. There are still games in which you just scratch your head and think, I'm not quite sure why this group of players are not being able to dominate this game. But that's credit to the opposition sometimes, credit to the fact that occasionally we have injury issues that mean we have to rotate people in and out a bit. We're rotating the squad quite a bit in and out anyway, just to keep everybody fit, mainly for the Champions League matches. But yeah, overall, it's been pretty easy, really. You can see all the way back through the run of form. We've lost that one game against Bordeaux. If we go to the league tables themselves, you can see that we do sit top of the league quite comfortably, really, from Lyon in the Ligue 1. We are, 9 points clear. They've got a game in hand on us, but our goal difference is huge in comparison, and we are doing pretty well. And similarly, in the Champions League group, we're on equal footing with Salzburg, having lost that early game to them earlier in the season, which was a little bit disappointing as a start. Excuse me, but Ajax and Michelin haven't had really an answer to us, and today we get a chance to see if we can qualify top of the group by beating Ajax, and that is the intention. We've got to keep up this run of form and see whether we can get the 3 points and qualify top of the group. So I talked a little bit about the injuries, and we have been having some. It has been disrupted by injuries. Quite a lot of these players have still got issues. You can see that Mbabu, Mendy, Vasquez, Rafinha and Neymar are all out today for one reason or another through injuries. Some worse than others, and I'm just not risking them. There's no need to at this point. So they're going to be out for today's match. And the likes of, every other week I'm getting messages about Pogba and Mbappe and other people needing rests and all sorts. It's still the knockover from the summer where they played an awful lot of international football. So there is some problems there. And just finding those moments where we can rest them for long enough. I've been rotating the squad, but it hasn't seemingly done quite enough. And I think it's Alexander-Arnold, Mbappe and Neymar and Pogba get mentioned more than anybody else. So we're going to play them, those that we can today. Neymar has obviously picked up a knock. And once this game is over, through to the end of the calendar year, we are going to pretty much let them have a bit of a rest, I think, and see if we can do that without upsetting them too much. But as I say, those are the players that are out for today. Other than that, we've got pretty much a fit squad. So for today's match against Ajax, where we really need to see if we can finish top of the group, it's Ederson in goal, Alexander-Arnold at right back, Kurzawa at left back, Marquinhos and Laporte in central defence, Rabiot, Pogba and Alberto in central midfield, Mbappe on the right, Jones on the left and Icardi up top, with a bench of Kimpembe, Dagba, Camavinga, Pereira, Verratti, Sarabia. I almost got through it. There's so many. Oh, get your teeth in, it's fine. And Edouard. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So form has been good, so we just went into the dressing room and said pick up from where you left off last time, continue the run of form, be confident in your abilities. We are at home and we should be winning this game. Ajax come with a very good side, of course they do, they always do, they're always going to be tricky to beat, but I'm not quite sure that they're exactly the force they were 2 or 3 seasons ago, having lost the likes of Van de Beek and a couple of others along the way. I think that they are slightly weaker than they were. Obviously, Frankie de Jong was another one, wasn't it, that left. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how good they are, but I expect to beat them on this particular occasion at home and try and top that group over Salzburg, even if it's on goal difference. But it's a throw-in on the right-hand side, right in their defensive unit for Ajax. Can we pin them in? We can't, and it's gone to Neres down the right-hand side. They've worked the ball really nicely down this right-hand side. We're trying to keep shape and press them a little bit, but not too much so we don't lose our shape too badly. There's a ball over the top though, and they do get a chance, and the goalkeeper has to come down and out and narrow the angle and eventually parries it out for a corner kick on this near side. And it's Tadic with the corner kick. It goes into the 6-yard box, and there was a good attempt at goal, but it does go slightly narrowly wide. And it was a little bit of a nervy start, wasn't it, really? Again, it's Onana with their goal kick for Ajax, but it goes into our left full-back area, Kurzawa. Jones picks it up, loses it temporarily, gets it back again, and then has a chance to run at the defence down the left-hand side. Does so pretty well, gets into the box and cuts in and does fantastically well, just to cause lots of confusion in the defensive area. It comes to Pogba, who has a chance. That gets blocked, and Mbappe with a follow-up eventually puts it into a relatively open net. But it's all about the driven run by Jones round the byline there. Pogba was a little bit unfortunate, but we get a little bit lucky on the ricochet. And then it's Mbappe in the right place at the right time. And we go 1-0 up after 15 minutes. Have Ajax got an immediate response to that? Klassen on the ball, drops it back into midfield. We put the pressure on, and Jones again picks up the loose ball down this left-hand side, drives again, but slightly wayward a little cross in for Icardi. Doesn't quite find the man, but we win it back in our defensive unit. And again, it goes towards the Ajax penalty box, but we lose out temporarily, and then more permanently, they regain possession again. and they've done pretty well at the back, but then there's occasionally a ball like that causes them problems. Rabiot wins it, and what a fantastic little passage of play. So Rabiot won it, Mbappe sweeps it across to Jones, first time cross in, doesn't quite get the chance again in that central area for Icardi, but the play is pretty good. We are beginning to click a little bit today, which is good. You can see why we've been scoring lots of goals recently. I hope that there'll be a few more in this particular match if we can make it work. But 10 shots at goal already after 35 minutes is pretty decent. Kurzawa wins it again in our left fullback position. They're going far too long into areas where they're not winning the ball, Ajax, at the moment. Jones again down the left-hand side, coming very nicely for Neymar, hasn't he, today? Rabiot drives at the box. Mbappe has a pot shot, but it gets blocked. Pick up the loose ball again. Nice and calmly played around the top of the box. And there's a Pogba drive that goes slightly wide and probably slightly high as well. Doesn't really trouble the goalkeeper too much. But again, we show the intention to get the ball at the goal as much as we can. 13 shots, but only 3 on target in the first half means that we've got a 1.42 XG rating, expected goals. We have got the 1 goal from that, but we should be pushing for a second one at this point. We have been trying. Haven't quite managed it just yet. The possession stats are interesting, aren't they? There's lots of possession for Ajax, but they haven't been doing much with it. Only 3 shots at goal and 1 on target for them. So they've got some work to do in this second half. So we're going to go with the hands in pockets. Things are going well, but I know you're capable of even more, and I genuinely believe that we should be doing a bit more than that. So we're going to try and demand more from them early in this second half. Put them on the front foot, hopefully, and just get something that can encourage us. But it's an early chance for Ajax again off a set piece. That far side corner kick came in, swinger, and the header was just slightly off target, fortunately for us. 61 minutes, we get the chance for a corner kick. Alberto with it, puts it into the middle of the box, but there was nobody there for us. But Alexander-Arnold picks up the loose ball. We get to rebuild and attack again, centrally with Pogba at the moment, into Alberto, drops it back, and Icardi comes deep to get involved in the play. Alberto almost loses it, but Pogba regains it. Sweep it out wide left to Kurzawa on the overlap, and he drops it back to Jones. Eventually the cross comes in, and again it's a cross and an assist from Jones, really. And again it's for Mbappe as he cuts in off this right hand side to support the play. And some good play in midfield, a good pass over the top for Kurzawa, drops it back to Jones, plays a 1-2 to get the space, a good whipped cross in, and Mbappe makes no mistake on the header, does he at all? And we do go 2-0 up, I think, unless there's any issue here with an offside, and there isn't. So we do go 2-1 up just after the 60-minute mark. And I think that's probably us done for the day. We've been dominating the game pretty well. So we're going to pause the game at 71 minutes and just go and make some personnel changes, protect a few players, keep them from being too badly affected by the injuries. And it's the couple of guys that I'm always being told about that we're going to take out. So we're going to take out Alexander-Arnold and put Dagba in. We're going to take Pogba out and we're going to put Verratti in. And we're going to take Mbappe out and put Sarabia in, just because those are the ones that are always coming up as needing to be rested. So we're going to partially do that today for the last 20 minutes or so of the game. Hopefully the game will be able to be seen out by those that are left on the pitch. It might go a little bit quiet, possibly, but 82 minutes in and we get a chance to sweep up the ball. Marquinhos in the central defensive area. And there's Dagba, the new right back, the substitute that's come on, drives right the way through the centre of midfield and causes all sorts of problems. And we get a goal from it in the end. It was a brilliant run from Dagba. Saw the space through the middle, drove through it. Lovely run. Drops it off eventually to Verratti, who picks up the ball, and one touch of the ball, should I say, gets it through nicely to Icardi, and he doesn't have to check his run or anything, just runs onto the ball and boots it in the back of the net for 3-0. And we are beginning to get the sort of score lines that I would expect us to be getting. Verratti again picks up the loose ball in midfield, drives at the defence, has a go at goal himself, but again it's slightly wayward. Some of our long shots from outside the box could do with a little bit of work. but that's only nitpicky really, isn't it? But for today, it looks like we're going to get the decent win. There's a good opportunity for a corner. Alberto picks up the loose ball again, having taken the corner, drops it into Rabiot, gets it back again drops it to Rabiot, and Marquinhos gets involved, and then he has a very speculative effort from 30 yards out on his left foot. That wasn't too far away, but it didn't really trouble anybody. And eventually there goes the final whistle, and it was a fairly comfortable and dominant display. Couple of goals from Mbappe, one from Icardi, lots and lots of attempts at goal. Maybe the on-target ratio could be better, but from a 2.24 XG rating, not bad at all. So this is going to be a very, very easy game to analyse, isn't it? I think we basically saw it play out in front of us. We won some very good balls in defence and midfield, and a couple of our players played very well to get the ball through to the likes of Mbappe and Icardi. And the likes of Jones, for example, I thought played exceptionally well down that left-hand side. And once you get all of these players into the 7 point something as an average rating for the game, including Mbappe on that right-hand side, then you are absolutely laughing, aren't you, really? They just could not cope with us at all. And we could have potentially had a couple more shots that we made something more of. I mean, the on-target ratio of 7 from 21 shots is not fantastic, is it? If we'd have got over 10 for that, then maybe we could have got another goal in there. But again, that's kind of nitpicky. But overall, I think we played really well today. Let's go and have a look at a couple of other bits and pieces on it. You can see that here's our spread of shots, all 21 of them or whatever it was. And I think there's some good ones. We did have a bit of an issue with our long range shooting from outside the area today. None of them were on target. We didn't really even challenge the goalkeeper. But you can see that we kept Ajax to some fairly tricky attempts down this right-hand side of the penalty box, and not very many of them either. So that was a decent defensive display as well, mostly. We made a couple of errors here and there in midfield to lose the ball, but ultimately I think we played pretty well. You can see that Ajax had a lot of the action zone in midfield specifically. If we go and have a look at the focus of attacks, come on, it sometimes does this. There we go, there's the focus of attacks. You can see that we worked every angle on the pitch, which is fantastic. 37% on the right, 33 on the middle, on the right, should I say, 37 on the left, and 30 through the centre. So you can see that we worked really hard. They primarily worked down the left-hand side, but came up against the likes of Mbappe and Alexander-Arnold down there. You would have thought, because we were playing a replacement fullback and winger down the left, they would have made more of an attempt to play down the right-hand side, but they couldn't quite manage it today, and that's, you know, one of those things. We did pretty well. I was more than happy with that. If we go and have a look more detail at our shots for today, 3 shots went in the back of the net, 2 from Mbappe, 1 from Icardi, all around the top of the 6-yard box, so good opportunities there. The off-target ones, these shots from outside the area, I might see if I can just click on that work the ball into the area kind of instruction and see if we can eliminate a couple of these longer shots, because they weren't working for us today at all. Didn't hit the woodwork. 4 saved by the goalkeeper, again 1 from long distance, couple from inside the area, 1 from slightly wide, and then 4 blocked by the defensive unit as well, so they did okay here and there. But overall, our shooting performance was decent enough. I just would have liked to convert a couple more chances to on target. But that's okay. Let's look at this page, just because it makes me giggle. Oh dear. Intercepted passes, 6. Only 6 of them, so we did do pretty well with our accuracy of passing today in terms of that. But if we look at the unsuccessful passes, we don't mind the ones being cleared from the back. We don't mind the throw-ins. But there's a big clump of them in here that potentially should have reached their target in a better way than they did. And we put 5 out of play looking for wide men down the left-hand side primarily. That's just par for the course sometimes, isn't it, really? But we did good 12 key passes, and a lot of them were on this right-hand side or the left-hand side, just crossing the ball in or dropping the ball back for some of these long shots. So there were some good opportunities in there. We didn't quite make the most of those long shot opportunities though for today, and that's something that we need to figure out maybe to change. There's no point in looking any deeper than this really. The simple reality is Ajax were not as good as us on the day, and we played pretty well overall and got a very, very comfortable 3-0 win. So here we are as proof that we did top the group. We didn't just have to do it on goal difference in the end. Salzburg, I think, were held to a draw. Were they held to a draw? Let's go and find out. I think they were. Yes, they were. 2-2 against Michelin in the last game for them meant that they finished in second place, 2 points behind us. Our goal difference was huge anyway, so they would have had a real struggle to beat us in any way today. But we do qualify top of the group eventually after a bit of a stuttering start and then 5 really good wins with a bucket load of goals. So confidence has got to be high from that. Form in the league is decent enough as well. But what we're coming back for next episode, I couldn't actually tell you at this point. We've got the Champions League first knockout stage in, mid-February is always the way. But I don't know who the opponents are yet. And we're going to leave it a complete mystery to come back for next episode. And the game that we're going to be playing next episode is actually the second leg in the knockout area of the competition. Because we're only focused on the Champions League in this particular series, the games that we come back and play are always the second leg of the knockout games, just to see if we can get through each of the rounds. So that's the game that we're going to come back for in early March. And I don't even know whether it's home or away at this point, but it's going to be a lot of fun finding out. Between now and then, there's a bucket load of Ligue 1 games to figure out and try and get through and make us very comfortable at the top of the league if we can, so we can continue to rotate players in and out around these Champions League fixtures and get our best 11 on the pitch as much as we can. So that's the intention anyway. So yeah, lots to come. Let's hope that we can make a slightly better fist of it this time in the knockouts and get through to the latter stages and really push for this particular competition. We'll have to wait and see. But next time out, the Champions League first knockout stage. Come back and join me for it and we'll find out together who we're going to be playing, which will be fantastic. Until then though, thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, please do that. Helps to grow the channel and makes me know that people are interested in what's going on. If you can click that like button for me, that would be fantastic on this episode. And again, continues to grow the channel and get more eyes on the product, which is great. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.